And welcome to another cast of our Gloucester Death Association tournament held in November 2014, brought to you by Netrunners.co.uk. Myself there with the rather dashing deep red playmat playing Andromeda, and we have a new player, Nick from Worcester, playing on the left, playing Blue Sun. Only been playing for a couple of months, and so he had the misfortune, unfortunately, of pulling me, but started off very well on the Swiss. As you know from previous casts, I'm going into this 3-1, feeling relatively positive. Due to this being a midweek evening tournament, we only did 4 rounds of Swiss rather than the 5 we probably should have, given that we had, I think, 21 players. But, you know, that's fine, it's just the way it is. I'm going to mulligan, which, you know, for Andy is a thing of rare occurrence, but nevertheless, obviously quite important, looking for that early doors, probably early doors fairy, which is going to help a big time. A breach is really useful, I find, against Blue Sun as well. If you can kind of get a hedge fund breach down, you can stop any oversight AI shenanigans against curtain walls and Hadrian's walls by breaking them fairly cheaply early on. I say cheaply, it's still expensive, but it puts them in an economic pit, and that's the important thing. And obviously, you know, with Andromeda, with account siphons and things of that nature, that can be very, very powerful. An early start against any kind of taxing deck, I feel, is important. RP or Blue Sun or anything of that ilk. If you wanted to steal some early agendas in order to try and keep the pressure on them for the late game. For those of you that saw round 1, for instance, you'll see exactly the same thing there against Dan. I was able to score the early agendas, and that enabled me then to put pressure on his remotes in the late game and not have to worry too much about the centrals. He's going to early doors score a hostile takeover. Now, for me, that just screams he's got agendas in HQ, and it's the first place I want to go and find and go and look. I'm going to hedge, sure gamble first of all, though, because again, it'd be rude not to. But I always find, again, the turn 1 hostile takeover says to me that they don't have either ice to be able to use, or, again, they do have a lot of agendas in hand. So, I'm going to go there. I'm going to end up going there. I've got a nice hand, though, to be fair, and I might not want to. Looks like I've got a Plascrete there as well, so I'm definitely not going to want to ditch. But I will run HQ, because I just feel that there are agendas there, and lo and behold, there's a geothermal fracking, which I'll steal. I was having a quick look-see at my Broken Egg tokens. Again, just to remind you, they're from brokeneggsgames.com. Go and have a look-see. They are quite lovely. Reds are 3s, blues are 2s, greens are 1s, and that black one there you'll see is a bad publicity, which obviously I've got since he scored the hostile takeover. I'm going to play the fairy out, and I need to ditch a card. I'm definitely not going to ditch the Plascrete. Probably the extra data sucker, I think, is the best call there, which is what I do. He's going to draw. He's got a power shutdown in hand. It looks like that was his only agenda in hand, actually, which is a surprise. So I probably got I did get incredibly lucky there. 1 in 5, and I scored the agenda. But that is the danger against leaving HQ wide open. What I could have done there, obviously, is gone in hard with an account siphon as well. You leave your centrals open against criminal. You could really hurt. So you've got a nice watch to put over R&D. And that you've already seen from my hand that I have the corroder in play. I have the corroder to be able to play. Hopefully I do the right thing here and just install the corroder off the bat. There's usually not a lot of trashing program ice that you find, but I suspect that may not be the case in this deck, given that it's running power shutdown. So there could actually be quite a lot, and it probably would have been a risk to have just played out the corroder and ran. Although I got a fairy. No, I'm fine. I got a fairy on the board. That's not a problem after all. I'm in a good place. So I'm going to run R&D first, probably a mistake, but he does raise the ice wall for 1. But I can then just install the corroder on my second click and run again. Why wouldn't I? Especially with the bad pub on the board, it's costing me nothing to get through it. Oh, okay, now I'm going to run HQ. See a power shutdown, and that's important to know, but with a data sucker and a fairy on the board already, I'm not feeling too worried about that. If I didn't have the fairy there, I might be a little bit more concerned. That data sucker could be important, particularly as I've already ditched one into the heap, so there's only 1 left in the deck. So the question here is, do I just go for 1? I've got an R&DI in hand. I'm going to look at the remote and see a Jackson Howard, which I'm going to ditch. Because again, I'm sensing these ice light, so again, for only 2 credits, why not? He's certainly not going to trigger it at this stage with only a hedge fund in archives. And I think I'm just going to take a credit and pass the turn. I'm going to make him think that I don't have the corroder out. He's going to draw, sees the Project Atlas. Not ideal with an undefended HQ. He's going to draw again. Seeing another ice wall. And again, he doesn't know I've got a corrode. He's going to draw again. Seeing another agenda, so that's a posted bounty as well now. 3 points of agendas in HQ. And he's going to... Sorry, it's a mandatory draw and then drew 2 and install. Is that right? I'm not sure if he maybe took one action too many there. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's above board. I'm going to run. He's going to see another ice wall. And now's the time to put a huge amount of pressure on with that corroder. Again, he can't power shut down it. So I'm going to install it for 2. Where I'm going to run. Let's probably run HQ first, I suspect, which is what I'm going to do. It's going to be free because of the bad pub. I'm going to score that Project Atlas. Again, I'm getting lucky on my accesses here. I'm not denying that. But I've got all the right answers for him. Probably going to go again here. That would be silly not to, I think. Once you've scored 4 points out of HQ, you've got to think there's more there. So I'm going to go again. Oh, and I see the posted bounty as well. I mean, that's literally 3 accesses, 3 agendas now. Yeah, that's unfortunate for him. He has got a mid-season's replacement in hand now, so you know, potentially he has the option to threaten quite heavily here. I don't think his economy is quite in that place where it's going to make too much difference. And obviously, if he doesn't use the mid-seasons this turn, it's pretty much null and void because I'm already get match point. Yes, he's running hostiles and posted bounties, so that may not be the case, but he's got to realise that every central run could be the last one. He's going to install. Not sure what that one was, actually. And I suspect my play here is probably just going to be to put down an R&D, run R&D, and try and score out through central runs. He's obviously got a fair few agendas in the deck. His agenda density is going to be higher than a lot of other decks with 1-pointers. He's going to draw again, seeing the aggressive secretary, which is nice. It's one of those things that really can... I mean, again, generally we're over-advancing or advancing Weyland stuff 9 times out of 10, so it's... I'm going to run R&D. I'm going to see another posted bounty. It's taking me to 6. Actually, I think I'll just apologise for it at that stage. Run again. I'm not quite sure what I saw there, but it wasn't an agenda, so he's still in the game. But now it really is match point, 6 points to 1. I'm going to run HQ, see an aggressive secretary, which will definitely trash. And I'm just putting pressure across the board here, and there it is, last agenda of the game. Another hostile takeover for the win. Unfortunate, really, not much he could do about it, but that is the nature of the game, and we hope you join you for the next game now.